forward party in Utah is shaking things up. What the hell is happening? Senator Dan Thatcher announced that he is resigning from the Utah legislature. Thatcher is our only representative from the Utah Forward Party. The Utah Forward Party went through a merger last year with the United Utah Party. Now they're one big happy forward family. Senator Thatcher represents Senate District 11, which we will talk about the boundaries of in a second. During the last legislative session, Thatcher, who was formerly a Republican, got in a whole fight and the president yelled at him and he walked off the floor, and then he came back. When he came back, he said that he was switching his party from Republican to the Forward Party. He said, "The respect is gone. The human dignity is gone." Drama. So since Thatcher is resigning right now before the 2026 legislative session, it goes through an appointment process. And a super fun fact in Utah, in the House, 1 in 5 members were originally appointed to the seat. They didn't run for election, they were initially appointed and then they ran again. That's 16 out of the 75 members. And in the Senate, 1 in 3 senators were initially appointed, 10 out of the 29. That's crazy. What that means in practice is that usually less than 150 people end up deciding who represents districts. In 2024, 97% of incumbents won their re-elections. Getting appointed has an incredible advantage in the election process.
When there is an appointment that has to happen midterm because someone resigns, the political party that that person belongs to gets to decide the process. And usually with the Republican and Democratic parties, there are bylaws and governing documents and all kinds of things that outline how this process works. Now, because the Forward Party is such a new party here in Utah, they got to design their own system. Instead of having delegates decide who gets to be the replacement, they decided that every voter in Senate District 11 can be a part of this process. Absolutely wild. It's kind of a good idea though. Senate District 11 covers a lot of pieces of different cities. Tooele, some of Magna, the very western portions of Kearns, 2 really weird pieces of Harriman. I don't understand how this happened, but some weird split pieces of Eagle Mountain, Cedar Fort, and Dugway. This district goes all the way to the western border of Utah, but very weirdly carves out East Wendover for some reason. Not gerrymandering at all. This district makes sense, everybody. Anyone in Senate District 11 who is willing to become a member of the Forward Party can put their name in for this appointment. They have to submit a personal video statement, and I will be watching all of those. I cannot wait. They have to submit an essay and a Q&A on their priorities, a legislative idea. More candidates running for the legislature should have to do this. Obsessed with this. A full background check plus social media background check. Should have done that for Trevor Lee before he ran. A signed pledge to stay with the Forward Party through 2026. They also have to pay a $75 registration fee and have a letter of recommendation from someone who lives or works in Senate District 11 or in a city that overlaps with District 11. All of that is going to be published for the public. They will be hosting a moderated debate. They also have a pretty good list of things that candidates cannot do. One of them is paid advertising. There's also no negative campaigning, which makes this less fun. And no paid consultants either. No one's hiring Elevate for this race.
Line to apply is November 11th. You must be registered with the Forward Party by November 11th. Your candidate packet is due on November 14th. The election, which will be held by Secure Online Voting Portal, will be held December 8th through December 12th. So many days to vote. And the winner will be announced on December 12th. And then that person will be sworn in January before the legislative session, and they will become the first Utah senator or politician, legislator, chosen by an open public preference poll. That's crazy. What we know about Utah politics is that the 2 things we see the most of are the abuse of power by the supermajority and self-perpetuation. The politicians are in it for themselves. They don't care about what the voters have to say, and they're in it for the extremes of their political party because they are going through this delegate or appointment process, and we just see this cycle of bad politicians. So this is an interesting opportunity for a third party in Utah to explore what this could look like and hopefully make Utahns feel like they have more of a voice in their government. We love that. Let's see if the supermajority will let this stand, because, you know, they always like to rig the rules in their favor, and if there's one thing that the Utah legislature hates more than Dan Thatcher, it is voters.